Brexiteers have laid into the so-called Project Fear rhetoric by saying it is time for Remainers to start sobbing into their European Union flag. The reaction comes as a report released by the Centre for Economics and Business Research suggests that leaving the EU has cost Britain financially more than the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. The report found that the virus had caused around £251 billion in losses by March 2021. Before the UK formally left the EU on January 1, 2021, a report from Bloomberg Economics revealed that by the end of the previous year, the economic cost of Brexit had already surged past £200 billion in lost revenues for UK companies. The report had calculated the UK economy had shrunk by 3% than it otherwise would have been. However, Express.co.uk readers hit back with some points of their own. Kevin said, "It was always said there would be an initial loss to business whilst new trading relationships were formed and business embraced new markets. We really need to move on." Adding to the victories seen by the UK in terms of securing contracts and building on trade, Charles Belton said, "Time for Remainers to start sobbing into their EU flag again." Chris Gibbings once suggested the Remainers were bitter losers, saying, "What a load of rubbish. You lost, get over it and get on with the business of rebuilding contacts and contracts instead of always moaning." Doggy Day saw a light at the end of the tunnel by saying, "We always knew we would have a bumpy few years once we had left, but things will improve and the trade deals we have under our belt will start to pay dividends in the next 5 years." UK Article 16 questioned the source of the report, saying, "Google the Centre for Economics and Business Research. They receive funds from the EU." The UK is now the fastest growing economy of the top G20 countries. They would say that, would they not? LOL. Mayor Haverword said, "Oh dear, still they try it on with their EU fanaticism. Better out than in and always shall be." Whereas Gavinge 45 pointed out that had the UK remained in the EU during the COVID pandemic, financial problems would be worse, stating, "Fails to mention we would still be in lockdown and paying the EU trillions overdraft due to COVID." Minotaurus questioned the impact of Brexit compared to the virus, saying, "So closing businesses down and providing furlough to staff is less costly than Brexit?" Pull the other one. How could that be possible? That's a 100% decrease in turnover through COVID for many businesses. Brexit could never have such a profound effect. Looking forward, another said, "We always knew we would take a bit of a hit initially, so would the EU. It will all level out over the next few years and the UK will start to grow its economy in a way it could never have done while tied to that vile, corrupt and restrictive EU." Adding to this point, Careful consideration said, we couldn't trade freely without compliance to EU regulations. We can now trade freely in terms agreed with individual nations. Moreover, we still trade with the EU, and on top of that we can trade how we choose with whom we choose, and in time with goods exported from UK manufacturers. Reminding people why they voted in the referendum, Whitworth once said, "The Remainers here all forget that the vote was to leave the EU, not increase GDP." By conflating the two, the Remain camp are still going around in circles. Ending the debate, Colin Skinner said, "We do not care. Freedom is priceless." According to the UK government, the magnitude of the recession caused by the pandemic is unprecedented in modern times. GDP declined by 9.7% in 2020, the steepest drop since consistent records began in 1948 and equal to the decline in 1921 on unofficial estimates. During the first lockdown, UK GDP was 25% lower in April 2020 than it was only 2 months earlier in February. Economic activity picked up over the spring and summer of 2020, reflecting the opening up of the economy. This was followed by a rise in COVID-19 cases and further lockdowns during the autumn and winter, leading to economic activity falling again. However, when it comes to Brexit, a Bank of England policymaker has said leaving the EU is costing the British economy £800 million a week, more than £80 billion since the 2016 referendum. Gert-Jan Vlieger said, "The analysis suggests that since the vote in June 2016, we have lost 2% of GDP relative to a scenario where there had been no significant domestic economic events." That amounts to around £40 billion per year or £800 million per week of lost income for the country as a whole.